Hey. It's me, RJB, and I'm back for RJB TV with another best stuff series. I'm not sure how many games we're going to be looking at, but I do know that we've got two really great Protoss players on our hands, because today we are looking at a Protoss versus Protoss matchup. And it has some rules: one cannon in the choke, no cannons in the middle, and no worker stacking attack. Those are the rules, and it's time to dive straight in and see where they are located. So we have 458 on the name Hiwi, with 3 of those up marks. I'm not sure how you call them, but they have a name. But I forgot what the name is. Usually people use them for those faces, like, you know, the face, this one. Yeah, that face. And, well, he's on the brown here on the bottom, middle of the map. We have 222U, also known as Leebokgu, here on the middle left of the map. Protoss vs Protoss is one of the matchups that is considered to be the manliest of all, because it is the most equal of all matchups. Of course, Terran versus Terran is likewise equal. Zerg versus Zerg, likewise very equal. Those matchups are simply not as much fun to play. Maybe they're as much fun to watch, but to play, in my opinion, Protoss vs Protoss is the most fun one, and it looks like a lot of Koreans seem to agree, because there are a lot of Protoss vs Protoss matches in all of the replay files that I've got. There's a lot of them. Now, an interesting little detail here is that both players are not agreeing on starting with the same build orders. There's a slight deviation here from Leebokgu, who goes for 2 gateways into an assimilator, whereas 458 started off with 2 gateways into a second pylon. Whereas that second pylon here from Leebokgu only came up after he started that assimilator. So he's up to something that is very tech-centric. He's going to be using a cyber core, which is right there. There's the cyber core. He's got 2 zealots on the way there as well. Whereas for 458, we're still looking at only 2 gateways. Now there's a forge, and we're still not looking at a gas. He cancels the forge because he runs into Leebokgu's base, and that gives him a lot of information, and then his probe gets stuck there, almost dies even. But it gives him information that he doesn't need defenses, because he's got the same amount of gateways as his opponent does, although he's up to something. I'm not sure what it is he's up to, but he's holding a pylon there on the front, and there's another gateway coming down here as well. At the moment, I would say he's behind on what Leebokgu is doing for now, but if he manages to get some damage down with those zealots here, he might just change the course of the game. Now, the one thing that Hiwi does have going in his favor, even though he lost a single probe there in the enemy base, is that he has more probes mining minerals, but the difference is only 1 or 2 probes, so the difference is not really all that significant. He's trying to kill that probe there, but probe there gets away, stays alive. He's disrupting the gas income here though, which is kind of massive. Managing to ruin the gas, even just a little bit, really gets him an advantage. Zealot here arriving in his base as well. He completely missed that one, so this one's going to kill stuff as well. And these are trying to get stuff done as well, but not really having all that much success. Because now there's the goons there on the scene as well. They're going to mark it pretty well. He's trying to stop... Ooh, he's forced to pull his probes off the minerals to try and stop this Zealot from killing probes. The Zealot eventually goes down, but I do think he lost 2 probes there to that 1 Zealot. That's pretty massive, and he lost a lot of mining time as well. Whereas... Alright, now Leebokgu is losing mining time as well, so both players forced to unstack their workers from the mineral patch. Both players getting slowed down, but at the moment, things are looking somewhat even, regardless of that fact of both players losing probes and both players being forced to pull workers off the minerals. Although, currently, if Leebokgu can keep on producing those Dragoons, he will be getting a lead over 458 for sure. Because Dragoons, of course, can be microed and never take damage from Zealots. But in order to still deal damage to Leebokgu, 458 is just deciding to go straight for the probe kills. And he's doing so successfully because now he's ahead in probe count over his opponent. It's the first time this game he was behind by 1 or 2 from start to finish, or start till now. So he managed to equal up, but he's sinking a lot of money into Zealots that he's going to lose. So he has to keep killing probes. He has to keep forcing those probes to get pulled off the minerals in order to keep Leebokgu busy in his own base and to keep him out of his own base here. He does have another gateway, number 5 there on the way. He's got a cyber core there as well, and he's got 2 assimilators now mining minerals. Gas, I mean. Got a second assimilator coming in for Leebokgu here as well. And he's now on 3 gateways, so technically speaking, in terms of how many buildings both players have, 458 is definitely in the lead. But in terms of units and effectiveness of those units, Dragoons most certainly are way stronger than those Zealots. But 458 has Dragoons of his own on the way. He's got 2 of them queued up. Number 3 there soon on the way. He's got Singularity Charge also on the way. But one of the things here that 458 doesn't have going for him is that he's got no choke and he didn't build a single cannon. He can only build 1 cannon, but he didn't build that 1 cannon. Although it must probably have gone down there to the micro from Dragoons. But he's going in for the Zealots, for the probes once again. Gets on top of the probes with those 4 Zealots. And once again, forced to unstack his workers. While the fight also happening in the base. He's microing both sides at the same time there. Although his attention is getting split a little bit too much. And he cannot micro them both to maximum efficiency or effectiveness. So more probes in the base going down. It's just moving those Dragoons there into those Zealots. He's now on 5 probes behind on his opponent. And his gas is also in a pretty bad shape. He's still making Dragoons though, but the game is starting to look better and better for 458, who now has about a 9 supply lead over Leebokgu. And Leebokgu still is in danger. He's not out of those dark waters yet, or the wild waters, because there's still 2 Zealots there on low HP, hiding in the top corner, waiting to strike on those probes. Now a fight happening here though. There's a lot of Dragoons here though, but forced away by those Zealots. But the Zealots there will never be able to hit. And Dragoons there on the chase though. Dragoons on the chase will have free fire on whatever Dragoons they wish, but it's like 9 Dragoons against only 4, and 2 more on the way, so it's 11 against now 8. These Dragoons, some of them are on low HP, some of them have lost their shields, but so are some of these Dragoons. Also, the probes there in the end did go down, but the deficit is now being reduced to almost 8. So 8 probe difference, almost, well, now a couple probes here from 458 going down because he has to take some shots to buy those Dragoons time. And it looks like buying some time for these Dragoons here to fire on those red Dragoons from Leebokgu by making the Dragoons focus fire on probes instead of Dragoons really helped him secure the win here. So that's a great little move there. It does reduce the worker lead by a little bit, but he's still in the lead. He now has a 14 supply lead, and that's definitely going to help him out in the future. A lot of just pylons being thrown down there for the sake of having pylons. Another one, and another one, because he needs more supply. Although at the moment he is in a pretty good supply spot, so he didn't really need them yet. Whereas Leebokgu is a little bit more efficient with his pylon usage or building. So now 23 probes against 26. We've got a lot of Dragoons here on the middle, more coming from the base. A fight starting here between these 2 players, and it's just Dragoons once again against Dragoons. Zealots here on the chase. Zealots gets microed away from, but the Dragoons still taking hits from the other Dragoons that are chasing. Although now the Dragoon count now is definitely in favor of 458, but more Dragoons will soon spawn. He has to buy himself some time. Ooh, now this is looking really bad. So there's 1 Dragoon left here. That's gonna go down before it gets another kill. So that's a total of 7 Dragoons there now on top of the probes. And we've got more Dragoons spawning now coming in from the side. But probes are dying, and they're dying quick. He's now back to a 9 probe lead. 8, let's call it 8. Yeah, so he killed 6 of them there, or maybe 5. And more Dragoons coming in. There's just no way that Leebokgu is ever going to come out of this one alive. He leaves the game. Yeah, that's it. So after 8 minutes and 32 seconds, it looks like Leebokgu got outplayed. He got outplayed pretty well there by 458, who just went for the probes and forced Leebokgu to just lose a lot of mining time continuously. He was continuously losing mining time, which means that 458 eventually just has more army because his production is just so much easier. Really well played there from 458 with that little probe move he did there as well, defending. And it means that we're now looking at a score between these 2 players of, I think, 1 win for Leebokgu. Let's just see which one he is. No, that's the wrong one. Like, Leebokgu is actually losing. 458 here gets a win. So that's 1 win for Leebokgu. Well, I'm messing up again. 1 win for 458 and a loss for Leebokgu. 1-0 score. It's time to head over for game number 2, which is of course also a Protoss versus Protoss between these two players. And I hope that we once again get a lot of action right from the start, because those are the fun matches where the action immediately kicks off and both players really go at each other's throat. Punch for punch, blow for blow. We've got Leebokgu on the opposite side of the map, almost the same location but mirrored, and we've got 458 here on the actually exact location. He's on the blue Protoss, and we've got the yellow Protoss here for Leebokgu. Gonna beat it the first minute. The first minute, while it does give away what both players are up to, if it's not all that different, if it's pretty much looking the same, we're in for a very skill-oriented match, where it's all about macro and micro, much less about build order, although there's already a small deviation. We've got Leebokgu going for 3 gateways and a delayed second pylon, whereas 458 goes for 2 and, well, it's basically the same build order as last game. But it looks like Leebokgu knows that 458 will do the same build order, so he's mixing his own build order up to have 1 more gateway, and that 1 more gateway might just topple the advantage to his side. Whereas in the previous game, 2 gateways against 2 gateways, while having earlier gas, gives the opponent a lot of time to go for the probes. As you saw last game, he just went for the probes because he had the time to do it. We've got a forge there coming out this time, so not getting cancelled, that forge. Because he knows if he's facing against 3 gateways, he needs a forge to build a single cannon to nullify the advantage of having 3 gateways against 2 gateways. He kills a single probe there. Good shot, good shot. Zealot there already arriving on the scene. We've got a probe here also attacking probes, and a Zealot there hunting for probes as well. But this Zealot here arriving first. He beat Leebokgu to the punch, although now he's walking around. Probe there, yes, going for the probe, gets another probe kill, he's gonna go for probe kill number 2, although the Zealot there is getting clipped into, no, yeah, it's gets clipped out of there. And here we've got the Zealot also hunting probes. This one's gonna get 2 kills, it's gonna go at 3 kills, it goes down, so it looks like both players actually got the same amount of kills. 458 got 2, Leebokgu got 2, and they both killed the Zealots. So really, the game is still looking to be in somewhat of a similar state at the moment. The cannon came down there for 458, he's building a second Nexus. That's very greedy, but I don't think he saw there's a simulator coming up there from Leebokgu, so he's banking on this cannon to keep him alive. Zealot's there, meeting on the middle, 3 against 3, or 4 against 3. 458 there micros his way in there pretty well, once again going for the probes, and because there's no cannon in the back, he should be able to get some damage down on those probes, but 2 more Zealots are spawning, and the Zealots are running to protect those probes before the Zealot there even arrives, but I think the Zealot there beat him to the punch, so he's getting on top of the gas probe, but the gas probe there, of course, running back and forth, so the Zealot there are forced to run away. More Zealots are entering the base there on the right side, the left side here. Cybercore finishes, and he's doesn't have the gas yet to get Dragoon range or Citadel of Doom. You can go for either of the two. Citadel of Doom allows him a lot of breathing room to go for cheeky Zealot speed movements on the map and for counterattacks. But for now, he's just busy protecting his probes against those Zealots that 458 is trying to kill probes with. He gets through somehow, although now he gets blocked here again. So only a single Zealot gets through, and it doesn't even get a kill. So there's 3 Zealots lost, no probes killed. That is not that great for 458. But 458 does have his second Nexus finisher in the back, and the Cybercore is also just finishing. But we've got a Cybercore here coming out. Wait, no Cybercore yet. He does have the gas to build something, but he's just... he forgot to get his Dragoon range, I think. He didn't queue up his Dragoon range. He did go for Dragoons. Dragoons make it very easy to defend against Zealots that are trying to sneak in and kill stuff. So now we've got Zealots on the way from 458. 458 trying to defend against these Zealots that are on the way from Leebokgu. Leebokgu won't be able to get on top of those cannons in the back though, because there's so many cannons and there's a couple of Zealots there that will make life very difficult to try and get on top of them. Cybercore there hasn't really produced any tech buildings. We don't have a tech building here from Leebokgu yet, other than the Cybercore. There's now a robotic facility to detect either get detection or to get a shuttle and a reaver to go for a drop there on the workers. 458 there defending, trying to get those cannons. Well, oh, there's a Citadel of a Dune here. Actually, I thought that was a Python or a cannon, but it's a Citadel of a Dune, so he's going for Dark Templars. In which case, that the choice to go for the Observer and the Robotics from Leebokgu really makes a lot of sense. So the Citadel of a Dune is looking to go down to the Dragoons there. The Zealots are trying to kill those Zealots to try to get on top of the Dragoons really quick, but not quick enough because there's too many units and more units are arriving on the scene from Leebokgu. Leebokgu, though, cannot really go any deeper. He has to kill these abilities on the side first, which he will be able to do with the advantage that those Dragoons give him. The Robo is almost finished. He's getting a cannon there in the back as well, and the Python in the front just for that single detection cannon. So he's building so he did finish the Citadel of the Dune, and he did start the Templars Archive. So the Dark Templars are on the way. And we don't have an observatory here yet from Leebokgu. We did finish the robotics. Now the observer is coming out as well. It's gonna take a while for the observer to spawn though, and it looks like Leebokgu, 4/8, does have a little bit of gas to make 2 Dark Templars, but that's all he can make. And he has no Zealot speed either, because the Citadel got killed. Zealot speed here would really, really make life easier for him. But those Dragoons are getting microed so well by Leebokgu. 4/8 here is really, really suffering, and I do anticipate that Leebokgu is just going to take this home as a win. Trying to go for the +1 Nexus there for 4/8 was really, really greedy. Because Leebokgu just completely skipped it and went for a gateway mass of Dragoons with a very low gas income, and it's really making it work really, really well. So now he has Dragoon range on the way. He has no Dragoons queued up though. He can afford some, but he's just in a really, really bad spot where he's trying to spend the minerals that he has, but he's unable to do so because he's so focused on defending and trying to stay alive. We've got the Observer there coming in for Leebokgu, so the Dark Templars are not going to be all that strong anymore. One cannon there in the front, two cannons there in the back. Those 2 cannons in the back there are going to make it impossible for those 2 Dark Templars to really get anything done. Now comes the frontal attack. Not really much here left to defend though. This is like 20 units in total. Well, maybe not 20. It's like 16, but it's close to 20. More of them are here on the way for exactly 20. Dark Templars there, been able to do anything. We've got a shuttle on the way. We've got a support bay finished there as well. That's a probe there on the bottom side. Yeah, nothing. This game is pretty much over with. There's just nothing that 4/8 can do at this point except dying. He's delaying the inevitable, trying to stay alive a little bit longer, trying to hang in there. But the amount of Dragoons is too great. He has no Dragoon range of his own yet. It will soon finish. He calls the GG because he knows that, alright, I messed up. I was too greedy. This is your win. Leebokgu, you win this one. It evens up the score to 2-2. Well, the slide is a little bit slow, in my opinion. It's a little bit slow to slide. I'm gonna fix that slide timer soon. Like, I'll try something like 1,000 or something. 1,000 milliseconds. Maybe that's a little bit better. Just see. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So the score is 1-1. Leebokgu wins game number 2. 4/8 wins game number 1. Time for game number 3. And I hope that 4/8 learned his lesson from the last game and doesn't go for a risky build. Because that +1 Nexus there was rather risky, given the fact that Leebokgu knew it was coming. He saw it being started, so he just had to adapt and capitalize on his superior gateway number by just going for Dragoons and Zealots, and it turned out to be a rather hard-fought, but not a difficult win for Leebokgu. He played that one really well. So once again, going to speed up the first 2 minutes, and this time we have a cross spawn. So all the way on the other side of the map, we've got Huey, or 458, against 2PU, also known as Leebokgu. Now, cross-map spawns really do mean that this is going to be a long game. Without a doubt. You cannot finish the game with so much traveling distance quickly. And we already have Leebokgu, once again, mixing up his build order. He's just trying to show us all the different sorts of build orders that he has up his sleeve. And he's basically saying, like, look at what I can do. I've got so many things up my sleeve. I'm just way better than you are. Now I hope for him that this is going to work out. Now the chances of this working out are pretty high because of the distance. And we also have 4/8 going for a Nexus of his own, actually. So both players are going for a Nexus first, as if they knew that they were on cross-map spawns. The gas there finishing up for both players at the same time, although the second simulator here for 458 is a little bit late. The Cybercore there, though, is almost perfectly in sync with Leebokgu's. It's like maybe 2 seconds behind, maybe even only 1. Look here, this one is finished, and this one starts finishing now. That's about 2 seconds, the difference. They are on about the same amount of gas, but Leebokgu has already spent gas on a Citadel of Dune. Now both players are in the process of finding each other. Probe here from Leebokgu entering 458's base. Yeah, it goes down to the cannon. Unfortunate, but it happens. That's a part of life. And now 458's probe here entering the base as well. And he's gonna find that both players are pretty much doing the exact same thing. Citadel and Robo, and here we've got a Citadel and a Robo. Although he's going for a third gas there as well, whereas Leebokgu is also going for a third gas. So both players are doing the exact same build order. This is the first time in 3 games that they are matching up and syncing up almost perfectly. It's just Leebokgu is a little bit quicker with all of his buildings, but he is 2 probes behind on 458. 458 killed 1 there with the cannon. Now he's 3 probes ahead. So something there went wrong for Leebokgu, not sure what it was, but he lost a single probe here in the enemy base, and he's somehow behind 2 probes. An average of 2 probes. Not sure what went wrong, but that might build 458 a tiny advantage. 2 Zealots there hiding in the top corner just to walk in, of course, in the near future and get some information. Or maybe kill a probe, you know, even up the score. Now do note that all the probes that 458 has extra over Leebokgu are actually out on the map. Well, one of them is out on the map, one of them here is building stuff in the base. Zealot, I thought this was a probe, but it's a Zealot. So you saw the Templar's Archive, that's a large bit of information. He sees the robotics, he saw the support bay, so he knows that storm drops are on the way from Leebokgu. Likewise, we've got the exact same coming out here from 458. Although I think the shuttle for Leebokgu is already finished, and so is the Templar, so he's still behind. He was behind by about 2 seconds, but now we're looking at about a 3 or 4 second lead, maybe 5 second lead in favor of Leebokgu. And that lead for Leebokgu, that 5 second difference, might just allow him to get that shuttle in here before 458 expects it to be arriving. He's getting a cannon there on the top side. There's information here from Leebokgu. He's going to send these Zealots in conjunction at the same time as this shuttle with a Templar in it. So he's going to go for... These are going to distract the cannons, and this one is going to fly in and storm some workers. There it goes. We've got another shuttle there moving over the map for 458. So he goes in. Zealots are taking focus away. Starts to unload Templar. Templar storms. Templar hits 5 probes, not that many. At the same time here, a shuttle gets spotted out by a probe just in time. It's a little bit of fighting going on here, but it looks like 458 only lost 5 probes. That is a small lead there gained for Leebokgu. But we're looking at a drop coming in here from 458 onto Leebokgu as well. Leebokgu is not putting his probes away. Ooh, the first... Oh, he gets 19 kills. So a great feedback there on the High Templar, which kills the High Templar. It's smart. But if there's 2 Dark Templars and you only have 1 Dark Archon, I mean, if there's 2 High Templars and you only have 1 Dark Archon, you can only use 1 feedback. And as you saw right there, it looks like Leebokgu was only expecting a single Templar and pulled his probes away a little bit too late. And now we're looking at 28 probes against 42 probes. And we have drop number 2 already flying across the map here for 458, although there's no... Wait, this is drop number 2. Ooh, he's so quick. Oh, Templar unloads, Templar storms, Templar misses. But another drop here coming in from Leebokgu on 458, but it's only a Templar. No cannon. He missed the storm completely. So both players missing their follow-up drop, but now drop number 3 from 458 already here on the scene. This one is a quick one. He's way faster than Leebokgu. Storms once again. Kills 5, I think. I killed 5. No, he killed about 6, 7, 8. That's a good hit. That's a great storm there. I thought he didn't really hit anything, but somehow probes just disappeared. And now drop number 3 from Leebokgu coming in. Drop number 5 here, 4 from 458 already leaving. Moose gets spotted out. Probes are running away. Probes are running to safety. He's going in. Templar starts to unload. Templar gets no chance. Templar gets a chance to storm. Oh, he kills all the gas probes there. No, not all of them. He kills a couple of them. It's about 5 or 6. I don't know. It was a very low amount. I think it went down from 48 to 43. So he killed 4 or 5. This one is going to go down, though. There's no Zealot in there to help. The Templar just lands on the ground. Storms on Dragoons. Not really much happening. At the moment, though, 458 is looking to be pretty big here. The 6 gateways against 3. Well, 5. And he's got a couple more cannons strewn about as well. Although Leebokgu has his cannons spread out a little bit more. We've got... Well, weapon upgrade... Although this is the difference between the two players. 458 was able to afford weapon upgrade. He already has Dragoon range upgrade, I think. Or I don't see any Dragoons, so maybe he just has Zealot speed. But he finished Zealot speed, which is something Leebokgu does not have. He has no Zealot speed, and he has no level 1 weapon on the way. He does have Dragoon range on the way, because he's using Dragoons to defend against drops. But at the moment, it looks like the supply is even. But there's 12 more probes for 458, so he might be able to just progress the economy to such a degree. As we're already seeing right here, he's adding on 5 gateways in addition to the ones he already had. He already had a 1 gateway lead, has a 1 upgrade lead. Now he has a 6 gateway lead over Leebokgu, who is struggling to recover. Comes in with a drop once again. Templar there arrives on the scene. Templar doesn't get a chance to storm, but another Templar storms there and he kills a bunch of gas probes. He kills 3 of them. Not a bunch, a small amount, but he killed something at least. And now we already have hallucinated shuttles coming in from Leebokgu. This is pretty much just a drop mass, the spam drops. The PvP drop spam. He comes in. Which one? Oh, he kills the fake ones. Templar unloads. Templar storms. Templar, did they hit anything? Oh yeah, he killed a lot of probes there. Went down from 52, or maybe even 53, because he had an 8 probe lead over Leebokgu, and all the way down to 23. So that's 30 probe kills there from Leebokgu with a beautifully executed storm with 2 hallucinations. Well, not 2. It was like 6 hallucinated, or maybe 8 hallucinated shuttles there to help him fly in and make it impossible for 458 to snipe the correct shuttles, and it really paid off. Now, one of the few things that I'm not liking from 458 here is that Leebokgu has a lot of side vision that make it very hard for 458 to fly in and hit drops, whereas 458 delayed the side vision to go for observers a little bit later on, but it did make it a little bit harder to respond in time to drops flying in. There's a lot of Dragoons there in between this, but there's so many fake shuttles here that this is definitely just going to fly in and hit. Oh wait, no, he's attacking the correct one. Templar unloaded there though. Templar cannot storm because it's too far away. So that didn't really work out that well. He stormed on the fake shuttles because hallucinations instantly die when they get stormed. Because it's a Templar against Templar ability or something. And the bottom line is, hallucinated shuttles, they die instantly. Another drop there already on the way. We have... This is like drop number 10. I'm not sure. I forgot to keep track. But the lead that 458 had has pretty much disappeared. The supply, though, is almost the same. So he has more units, but he has less probes. The probe difference is 22. That's pretty massive. It's going to take a while for him to recover. Storms on the fake ones, and now targets down the real one once again. Beautifully played there from 458 with the quick reactions there with the storms. Preventing? Oh, he's killing pilots on the side. I thought it was a drop for a second. So he's clearing out that side vision, and clearing out that side vision will actually get Leebokgu supply stuck for a very short amount of time, though he's already replacing those lost pylons. But this makes it easier for 458 to fly in with the drops. This is one of the advantages of going for observers. Observers has advantages and downsides. The upside is that this has to be killed with another observer, which Leebokgu at the moment does not have. Zealot's there, still trying to kill this one, but it stays alive on 5 HP. He's gonna try to, he's gonna just get a surround on Dragoons, which is disastrous for Leebokgu here actually, because losing those Dragoons is actually pretty big, given he's facing a mass attack here from 458, though 458 is walking straight into a surround. And these dragoons here will stay alive. I know they're gonna... Some of them are gonna stay alive, some of them are gonna go down. Fight here erupting in the middle of Leebokgu's base. We've got storms coming down on everything. So the shields for the dragoons are gone. More storms landing. And we've got a drop here coming in on the bottom side as well. So I'm going to very quickly juggle back and forth. Looks like 458 is losing this fight here because he is walking into that surround. Drop here arriving in 458's base. He's chasing the probes. Storms of the probes. Gets a pretty good chunk there. Oh yeah, that's about 20 probe kills. So that drop there really working out massively in favor of Leebokgu. And this fight here also working out massively in favor of Leebokgu. We now have a 60 supply difference. That's all in favor of Leebokgu because he still has 72 probes. He's very rich. He can produce another army very, very quick within seconds. He does have level 1 weapon upgrade there as well. Level 2 weapon upgrade is on the way for 458 here. But things are not looking pretty here for 458. He is on the losing end of this exchange every single time. At the start he managed to get some advantages, but it's just been downhill from there. He does have about 103 supply now. It's mostly dragoons that are able to get a pretty good surround here as for Leebokgu tries to enter the base. It's also why he's pulling back his dragoons, because he wants to create a surround and keep these dragoons from spreading out all the way to the sides. So he goes in. We got the same upgrades against the same upgrades and about the same number of units against the same number of units, but the drop is coming in on the bottom side as well, but it gets sniped. The Templar stays alive. Templar storms onto the dragoons there though. The 458 prevents disaster for now. Just a little bit longer, but he's almost 100 supply behind on Leebokgu, who's now sending out another wave of dragoons to come and support the wave of dragoons that is already there. The game is looking worse and worse for 458 here. He can buy himself some time here though by continuously spamming out dragoons, but for how long can he keep this up? More units are coming from the middle, entering the choke point, entering this little pathway here. And the fight definitely is not looking pretty. 458 though manages to use the bottleneck there to buy himself as much time as he can, but now that Zealots are entering as well, he has to pull his dragoons back, which is going to give Leebokgu a lot more room to fight here in the middle of 458's base. 458 has more units on the way, but don't think this is going to work all that well. He did finish level 2 weapon there though, and that is definitely helping him out to a certain degree. The level 2 weapon upgrade is not going to make up for being behind a 100 supply in total. And we have got another drop there coming in from Leebokgu as well. And this time around, he's got so many units there inside of 458's base that he doesn't even really need the distraction. Although it's just Zealots. It's just Zealots. But he's still pulling his probes to safety, which is going to absolutely demolish his ability to reproduce his army. Dark Templars are here though, and there's no observer from Leebokgu, although now... Sorry, hiccup. Wheel drop comes in, starts to unload the Templars. Probes are running away, Templars are reloading everywhere. Storms on the probes. Yeah, probes are getting destroyed left and right. And he still had one more storm there up his sleeve. Already killed 9, already killed 14. That's already 23 probes dead. More probes are under the storms, and this one is going to just finish it all off. The last 3 remaining probes. Goodbye. So Leebokgu wins game number 2. Dark Templars here were really saving the day because no observer from Leebokgu. Did he have an observatory? He had an observatory, just no observers were there. He had one in production, but they weren't here yet. That's a little bit sloppy from Leebokgu, but the drop there was all that mattered. The drop was the end game. The drop was the goal. So that makes this game and the score go up to 2 wins for Leebokgu and 1 win for 458. So, which leads me to believe this is a best of 5. 458 has to win 2 more games. Leebokgu only has to win a single one. Now, I do admit that watching drops just fly over, cross from each other for the entire match isn't the most exciting, but it's... I kind of like it. It's a lot of multitasking going on, and it's a pretty good build order to go for. The final game here. 458 against Leebokgu. Well, that is if Leebokgu wins. That is the final game. So, both players once again on the Protoss. We've got the orange Protoss here for 458 on the bottom right of the map. And the middle right of the map, we've got Leebokgu. Now, both players are very close to each other, which means that whoever picks the better build order tends to win. Because the distance is so short that it's really difficult to go for, let's say, a riskier build order where you go for a very early Nexus and your opponent just so happens to go for gateways. Oh, this already spells trouble. I hope I didn't spoil the end result there, but it is a Nexus coming out here from 458. The riskier build order for sure, without a doubt. But maybe he can make it work. I'm not too sure though, because we got a Dragoon build order coming out from Leebokgu. So Leebokgu went for a different build order every single game. He really has a lot of different things up his sleeves to throw at you, misdirect you, and to outplay you with smart, effective build orders that seem highly optimized. We've got the forge there coming out from 458. The gateway also already on the way, but no gas yet. He's going. Will he get the gas there though? He has to get something. He spotted the enemy base. He sees a lot of gas coming in there. He sees the gas, sees the cyber, sees the gateways. Now the zealots from the gateways won't really be able to do much. He built a single zealot there just to force 458 to build a cannon, which he is. He's building a cannon because that one zealot forces him to do so because he has nothing to defend against that one zealot. Now getting a cyber core, one gas there in the back as well on the way. No gas number 2 on the way though. Probe there trying to disrupt the probe mineral mining there from Leebokgu, but a single probe there never really gets much done. It's just annoying, just there for information. Cybercore finishes, no Dragoon range on the way yet. Not yet. He did queue up one Dragoon there though, so he's gonna queue up his Dragoons first, and then he's gonna get Dragoon range. Or is he? No, a very quick robo. He's not going for... Alright. Alright, this is interesting. I was expecting fast Dragoons, but it's in fact a fast drop build order. He's got 2 Dragoons here though, but no Dragoon range on the way, which means that the Dragoons are not really what he wants to fight with. He just wants to defend with them. We've got Zealots on the way here from 458, but he's only on 2 gateways now, 3 gateways, but those 2 gateways just finished. But they haven't really produced any units yet. Citadel of the Dune there, though, on the way for Zealot speed, which might change the course of the game if he gets that Zealot speed finished. More Dragoons coming up from Leebokgu here. He's got 3 of them now in total, or just 2? Just 2. Just 2. Gateway number 3 there also on the way, and the Robo finishes at the same time. Zealot's there, forced to run away, because, well, he saw the cannon, can't really fight against it. Very smart placement of these 2 cannons there, though, which protects these gateways from Dragoon ranged attacks. And it looks like he managed to get this Zealot stuck there. No probes went down there, I think, because the probe count is entirely... the difference is entirely determined by this 1 extra Nexus. Zealot speed there on the way. Zealots are spawning, but he has to make a lot of Zealots very quick, which he will be able to. I don't really have high expectations here from Leebokgu, because Leebokgu can't really get on top of any of these gateways because those cannons are so well placed. And he's losing a Dragoon, almost loses it. That's pretty painful there, because he's playing a low economy build order against a high economy build order here from 458. But we do have this 1 Reaver on the way. Not finished yet, but there's a wide open hole here for him to go in through. Zealots are being wasted, I think. Or maybe he's just forcing those Dragoons to return back to base, buying himself time, because he has more gateways, so he can replace those lost Zealots pretty quick. But losing any Zealots, really, or any units at this point in the game, might just topple the advantage over to your opponent. So I'm not too sure if that's the wisest choice. He does have Dragoon range on the way now, and he sees the Reaver finish. That's big, though. So it does look like the scouting with the Zealots there pays off in the end. No damage dealt, but he got to see the Reaver and the Shuttle finish and being picked up. Dragoon range now also on the way, almost finished, and he's flying into 458 space. He's got 5 Zealots, no Dragoons yet, although now they're finishing up, so I'm wrong, he does have Dragoons. More cannons being added there on the side to protect himself from the attacks. But he's stuck. The Dragoons are stuck there. Oh no. This is really, really, really bad. I should have known this would happen because I've had this happen myself. If you place a building here, Dragoons spawn in between and they get stuck here. And that's painful because now he has to build another Citadel of a Dune. And he didn't start. Oh, the Reaver's gonna come in. The Reaver's edging closer to the approach though. The shuttle there picks it up. Reaver stays alive. Dragoons there picking off the cannons there to allow in and out flying with that Reaver. So this is looking pretty good here for Leebokgu. If the Reaver there stays alive, with the shuttle there returning back to base to pick up Reaver number 2. But it means this Reaver is no longer protected. And now all the Dragoons spawning from the gateways, which are a lot of Dragoons, are coming in hot, ready to take down that Reaver there in the back. Reaver gets taken down before it shoots another shot. Dragoons are going down as well, and the Reaver there in the back gets a beautiful shot off on those Dragoons. So this fight... Oh, shuttle there is gonna go down. Reaver there also gonna go down. Reaver is still alive. Reaver goes down there in the end, so the Reaver investment in the end doesn't pay off whatsoever. And then we're looking at a 4-5-8 with 9 gateways against a Leebokgu with 6. There's another Reaver here in the base though, and his shuttle is on the way, but things are not looking pretty for Leebokgu. Because 4-5-8 already has a bigger supply count, which at the moment is entirely because of his probe count, really. But the supply count will very soon just skyrocket for 4-5-8 because he has got those 9 gateways. He does not have any tech left though. He lost the Citadel, didn't start a Templars archive, and he's rebuilding as we speak. Now Dragoons are going to keep spawning in this little corner here, which is very annoying. So there's a Citadel of the Dune coming back, returning back, warping in a new one. He's running his units into a mass of Dragoons and not really working out that well. Reaver there now also ready to support those Dragoons. We have about equal masses here, but the Zealots are not as effective as the Dragoons here. Those Dragoons are way stronger than those Zealots. And the Zealots also on low HP, so at the moment this is looking great for 4-5-8 for... Oh no! So yeah, that's also looking pretty bad there. Accidentally runs them into the fight. Now he is wasting his Dragoons as well. The Reaver there behind those Dragoons is just massively helping out there. So loses all the Zealots, loses no Dragoons, kills 1 Dragoon, so that's really, really, really bad. Kills nothing, loses a lot. If he had waited just a little bit longer, he would have been in a better position to progress the game. It lags so hard. So yeah, 4-8 is located in California, which is why he's complaining about the lag. So one more Nexus here. So he's trying to catch up. He's trying to play catch up, but the catch up might be a little bit too late. 13 probe difference. Although 4-8 not really being too consistent with his probe production, but he has a lot of gateways though, which is what matters at this stage of the game. Gateways really does build the lead. We now have 8 gateways for Leebokgu, 9 here for 4-5-8, another 5 there. That's 14 against 8. Dark Templars also entering the mix there though, and I don't see an observatory yet for 4-5-8. So that might turn into a massive miscalculation from 4-5-8, although it's just finishing. So looks like he was thinking the same thing. He was thinking that Leebokgu must be going for Dark Templars to keep me away, so I'm going to make my observatory right about now. Which should make it possible for him to just, you know, defend this really easily. Although he's making a shuttle at the moment, no observer queued up yet. And the Dark Templars are killing gateways. That's actually pretty smart use there with the Dark Templars before the observer is even out. So these gateways, these 2 are going to go down. This one might go down as well. Observer is on the way, halfway done. He's picking up Zealots for a drop, has no Templars out yet. Does have Templar Storm on the way here. And we have Templar Storming on the way as well for Leebokgu. He is picking up his Templars right as we speak. So even though he went for a different build order with less income, he's ahead in terms of tech still. Because he never lost his Citadel, never got slowed down. Observer there, finishing soon. Drop comes flying in for the top side. Leebokgu is going in all the way. 458 is not responding in time. Tempo there moving forward. Doesn't get the storm off. That could have been a massive, massive hit. He's got 2 Reavers here on the side as well, which tried to fly in at the same time as the other drop, but couldn't get in time. Dragoons are trying to cut off the shuttle, but the shuttle is too quick. It's already gone. And somehow this game has turned into a stalemate situation where neither player is convincingly in the lead. Does lose an observer there though, trying to get vision up on the hill. So we haven't had a drop yet from 458. He's preparing himself first. He wants to get completely safe and secure. He wants to max out and get some control on the side here, whereas Leebokgu is trying to continuously throw out attacks and attempts to build himself an advantage. The probe count is almost equal up. 458 has hit 68, which is I think the number he's gonna stay on. Maybe 69, because I see one more probe there on the way in the Nexus. It's flickering. That's 69. One more even queued up, but he's completely maxed out. So he's going for 70. And yeah, just a lot of cannons here coming down on the side. He's playing Turtle at the moment. Whereas Leebokgu is less so playing Turtle and focusing on spending his minerals to finish his base. Comes in with a drop here though, 458 does, is arriving on the scene, starts to unload the Templars. Templars don't storm because they don't have energy. Alright, one has energy, he storms something. Oh, he kills 10, so that's something at least. But these two are still waiting for their energy. Picks the last one up, waits for energy, although the probes are now running away. So this is pretty big. This is pretty big. We've got 5,000 minerals soon for 458. And we only have about 500 here for Leebokgu. He storms another couple of probes, but he only kills 2. But the probes now returning back to base, and 458 is now on the attack in the front. Though these 2 Reavers in the back are going to help him out tremendously. Walking into that base, the automatic surround from entering another base here is really helping Leebokgu defend. And 458 is losing supply quickly, but he's trying to get in there as fast as he can. He wants to use the advantage he built from that drop and from the probes not mining for an extended period of time. So the fight here in the front is definitely not going well for 458. He killed only about... Ooh, a lot of probes here getting caught in the crossfire as well. That's pretty big. That's pretty big, but only 2 of them go down. So 458 here trying to force himself into the opponent's base. Loses most of his Dragoons, and now drop is coming in. He's focusing on the shuttle. Shuttle is arriving on the scene. Templar walks forward. Templar gets a storm off. Templar kills. Alright, that's about 18 kills. That's a really good hit. So now we're looking at about an even game once again, but there's still 3,000 minerals here in the bank for 458. But both players are on about the same probe count, and I think about the same base size even. Got no upgrades for 458 whatsoever. He does have level 1 weapon upgrade on the way. But Leebokgu only has level 1 weapon finishing right now. So somehow, despite being richer up until now, 458 didn't start his upgrades for his ground units. His gateway units. So that means that every single fight from now on is going to be in favor of Leebokgu. Drop comes in there though, but flies straight into Dragoons, but he's arriving on the scene there though. Temples are unloaded. Templar Storm. Templar hits a massive... Oh, that's a massive hit. 38 probe kills. 42, 43 probe kills there from 458 on Leebokgu. And Leebokgu is pretty broke. He's pretty broke. He's trying to fly another drop in here on the side, but there's... 458 can see this. He knows it's there. You have the observer, spotted it out. He's now losing this pylon here on the side though. 458 is going for a very small attack there, but he's pulling back his Dragoons and his Templars. Well, he's pulling back his Templars. Looking for another way into 458's base. But 458's base has so many cannons everywhere and so many defensive Dragoons that I don't think it's gonna work. Although now drop comes in at the same time as well. This time he's got 1 Templar, actually, nothing else in there. Templar arrives. Templar has... It doesn't storm, it storms, it kills 2. At this point, even losing 2 probes is painful for Leebokgu, because that's 28, well, 14 seconds of probe production time and 100 minerals that are gone. So 458 enters the base, walking and crawling forward, getting on top of those units there in the back, in the front. pushing himself towards the edge. He's pushing himself closer and closer to victory. This is gonna be it. This is gonna be it. Oh, yeah. Alright, so he's losing the Dragoons there in the front, but the supply difference is still massively in favor of 458, although the army size at the moment is definitely in favor of Leebokgu, because that level 1 weapon attack there really making a massive difference. Another drop there tried to get in, but it went down. So 458, despite having the lead, doesn't really have the lead. Not yet. It's going to take a little while longer before he can very safely and securely get himself that victory. Leebokgu here gonna fly this drop in though. Comes in from the top side. There's so many shuttles. Oh, he stormed on the shuttles, kills it. Oh, he loses probes. Oh, yeah, that's pretty grim looking. Oh, he leaves the game. He still had a chance. He still had a chance. I think he had a chance because he just killed so many workers, but he's complaining about the lag. If only he stuck around for a little while longer, he seriously had a pretty good chance. Let's just rewind for a little bit. I think he really prematurely called the GG there. He could have stayed in there for longer and maybe made a comeback because he just set himself up for a comeback. He just set himself up for a beautiful comeback with that storm drop, killing about 50, well not 50, but about 40 probes. So the army size is still massively in favor at this point for... So the storms are happening now. So the storms end. Alright, so we killed 35 probes. Not as many as 40, but he killed a lot of them, basically. And that puts 458 into a really, really bad spot. Both players even have about the same supply count at the moment. We've got another drop here coming in from 458, but Leebokgu hasn't seen this one yet. He has, looks to me, enough units to defend. Now, how many units does 458 have on the way? That is the big question. And it does look like he has at least another 2 waves of units. Well, alright, let's say a 1 wave, because these gateways are mostly empty. He's got units in these gateways, which is a lot of Dragoons. You can even unqueue a couple of these, which I don't think he's going to do. But you can, in theory, unqueue them and queue them up here, and he would have way more units than Leebokgu, because Leebokgu has most of his gateways empty. He's having trouble spending his minerals because he has so few probes. So perhaps Leebokgu did leave, justifiably so. The question is, how much of this does he know? That's the question. But it looks like Leebokgu most certainly no longer believed that he had it in him to win this match. So that brings us to a similar score here. Both players have 2 wins. 458 won twice, Leebokgu won twice. Which now means we're going for a final match. Or maybe there was no final match, because Leebokgu kind of rage quit there with the lag so hard. Maybe he rage quit, I'm not sure. I don't want to call it a rage quit yet, but there is in fact one more replay here, because it's the best of 5. So let's see who wins the last one. Now do note that the last one is not a PvP. And you would expect 458 on the Protoss, but he's in fact on the Terran. 458 on the Terran here. Leebokgu on the Protoss. So this is going to be the deciding match between these two players. Leebokgu has a very, very strong Protoss. That is something we all know. He's very difficult to beat. We haven't really seen 458 play Terran all that much. I have seen some replays, and his Terran is honestly pretty good. Nowhere near as good as his Protoss though. So I'm gonna give the edge in this match in particular towards Leebokgu. Leebokgu should have this match. But 458 is pretty smart. He's pretty smart. He knows what he's doing. So maybe this game, to put it short, just to put it short, this game can go either way. Given there's a lot of distance between the two bases, this is like a cross-map spawn, maximum amount of distance, maximum amount of traveling time. So who knows? Who knows how this is going to unfold? Oh, I had game music turned off all this time. I didn't know. Sound a little bit louder, like this. Like this? Yeah, this should be fine. Alright. Leebokgu going for Nexus, Forge, Pylon, Gateway, and of course cannons in the front to defend himself. This is the stuff we almost always see in a Protoss against Terran matchup. Only a single cannon though, not two, it's only one. 4/8 goes for 2 barracks, so... And a command center there, that's risky. It's risky to get that command center there, but given the situation, there's no risk involved. But to do it without information, that's a little bit risky. But given the information that we have, he's completely fine. He's got nothing to worry about at all. Absolutely nothing. For now, at least. Because now he finds the opponent, pulls his SV away just in time, he doesn't die. Cybercore there on the way from Leebokgu to Simulators Mining. So what will 458 do? What does he have up his sleeve? He's going for 2 refineries there in the back. That of course gives away the fact he's going for a double factory or a factory double starport. One of the two. Both are great for defending. Academy there also already on the way. We've got cannon number 2 finishing up there for Leebokgu in his base. And he's building a skeleton against, let's call it Barrack Firebat flyovers. Nexus number 3 actually, so 3 Nexi. That is very, very... Well, sometimes I like to call it greedy, because it does slow down his drops, it slows down his tech. What is he doing? What is Leebokgu doing? Is he going straight for carriers? He's going for super fast carriers, in the hopes that he can capitalize on 458's inexperience on Terran. Although he does have a lot of Terran experience. But he's banking on getting his carriers out on the map fast enough for 458 to not be prepared for them. But 458 went for a very quick scan, so you will see it. He's getting on 2 more barracks as well to defend himself against drops. But drops are never going to come. That's something only we know for now, up until 458 throws down the scan and gets more information. Got an engineering bay here on the side. He's going to hover that up on the hill immediately, I think. He's not going to get level 1 weapon upgrade. Maybe he is. Ooh, I like 458. He's pretty quick. He's a pretty quick player. Immediately sending that SCV back to the minerals the moment it finishes. Already have a turret there in the front on the way. Starport already on the way. No level 1 weapon upgrade here from 458. Just gonna pause real quick. Alright, I'm back. Just have to take care of something real quick. So Marines are on the way into... Oh, he scans. He sees there's no robos. Well, this is what he sees. This is the information he has. And there's nothing of significance here. So basically, no information except that there's 4 cannons in the front here that he's gonna try to brute force his way into. Not sure if that's the wisest... No, he's not gonna do it. Even 458 knows it's not that smart of a choice to try and brute force into 4 cannons with, I think, about 12 Marines. 13 Marines. But basically the same as 12. So now, let's wait for scan number 2. And see if he can get some information out of that one that's going to really benefit him. So 5 or almost 6 minutes in, carriers are on the way. Interceptor capacity, not yet on the way, but I think it soon will be. Cybercore number 2, level 1 armor there for the carriers. There's interceptor capacity. There's a starport. He's mostly just getting anti-drop. So this does have me worried for a little bit. We've got fast carriers on the way. And at the moment, nothing that can deal with fast carriers yet. We do have a drop there on the way from 458. That's a tank drop there. A shuttle, well, a dropship on the way. I'm not used to saying dropship and 458 in the same sentence. So that's why it became shuttle. So he's throwing out at Marine scouting. Yeah, really not much happening. Just like a very slow progression into the next phase. He's building engineering base, getting vision up on the hills. He's getting units up on the hills as vision as well. Or is this the 2 tanks? That's the 2 tanks. He's mostly just preparing himself for the drops, getting turrets, getting engineering base for vision on the hills. All the standard stuff. Now he threw down another scan there though, and this time he does see the carrier just in time. He sees the fleet beacon as well, so he knows what's up. He knows exactly what's up. 3 carriers have finished, 2 more on the way. Or Leebokgu has a little bit too much gas, he cannot afford more carriers. Very slowly he's adding on more. Drop comes in there as well right before the cannons finish. This might just be a nice hit there on the probes. This is going to be a nice hit. 6, 9, 17. So 23 probe kills there for 458. That's, at this point in the game, that's really good. Because before this point, we already saw 458, Leebokgu, struggle with building carriers. And now that he's lost so many of his probes, they were mining minerals, it's going to take even longer for him to get his carriers out on the map. Which gives 458 even more time to get all these starports here, get armories, get, well, Charon boosters soon, and prepare himself for the fight against carriers. Got a mind controller on the way from Leebokgu. That's maybe a desperation attempt, because he knows that he just got screwed over by losing probes. So now he pulled the probes off his gas for more mineral income, so he can afford to spend the gas he already had, because he needed more minerals in order to spend them, because he didn't have the minerals to make carriers. Shield there also on the way, so shield, weapon, and armor for carriers, almost all finishing up in conjunction soon. Shield finished, weapon, armor finished, weapon is still on the way, but he's looking pretty good there. He's looking pretty good, pretty strong with the carriers. He's got 6 of them now in total. But this scares me right here. We've got 7 starports, 3 still on the way, 4 finished. We've got 3 armories as well. A lot of gas coming in as well from only 4 refineries. Somehow he's just getting so much gas from only 4. He's getting command center number 3. He's getting upgrades for air and ground, like ship weapon. Well, ship weapon and ground armor and air weapon. Well, that's the same as ship weapon. I meant the mech weapon. Tank weapon. Let's call it mech. Mech weapon tech. I'm not sure what to call it anymore. It's called vehicle weapons. We can just call it vehicle weapons. I've never called it vehicle weapons, but it's the technically most correct term of describing it, so I might as well just use it. I do think ship weapon is actually called ship weapon upgrade. Yeah, ship weapons. And vehicle plating. Like, the thing is, for Protoss, it's called air armor. Air weapons. So it's kind of like confusing to me, but it's not really that important. So 9 carriers now. We've got a Dark Archon there with mind control finished up on the way to join the carriers to fly in. We've got mass Valkyries here on the way. Although at the moment, 458 is still having some problems affording all of these Valkyries because they're still kind of expensive. It's gonna take a small little while before those finish. Marines there located in the back with no weapon upgrades because he lifted up all those engineering bases right from the start. So they're not going to do all that hot against the interceptors. But because there's only 9 carriers and some Valkyrie support, I do think he will be fine for now. And he has stim upgrade and range as well. And of course, turrets all the way on the side everywhere. But what really is the question here is, will the Dark Archon get a mind control off on an SCV and build a Terran army? Well, now, ooh, this is looking pretty nasty. The shields are almost entirely gone, but so are the Valkyries. The Marines there, though, in the back, doing their hardest to take down those Interceptors. Interceptors going down pretty quick. He's building a lot of new ones. Even forced to retreat, and now the Marines are stimming into cannons. So many Marines here arriving on the scene, and they're going to take this down just in time, or are the cannons spawning just a little bit too quick? Who is going to win this fight? Marines or cannons? Alright, the Marines win this one. Almost, barely, just barely. Like, they almost all died. Like, if one more cannon stayed alive for a little bit longer, this would have been a complete loss of like 50, well, not 50. That's a little bit too much. 30 Marines, maybe 40 Marines. He lost a lot of Marines. That's the bottom line. But he prevented the cannons in the front, so great move there from 458. Stimming his units into the cannons and killing the cannons before they become a real threat. So we're looking at 14 carriers here on the scene from Leebokgu. 458 has Goliaths, he's got Karen Boots, he's got Valkyrie, so he is able to defend himself. You've got the shuttle with the Dark Archon flying across the map to, well, get an SCV mind control. Carriers are going in, carriers are getting attacked by the Valkyries, though the Valkyries are getting taken down as well because the great carrier micro there from Leebokgu. Although carriers are dying pretty quick as well. Well, not quick. The command center in the back is gonna stay alive or gonna go down. The carriers are just too strong. It's gonna go down. So goodbye, command center. And now the Valkyries there, having torn through almost all of the shields and armor on the carriers, are not gonna kill the carriers yet. The carriers are still alive. So this game is now looking pretty bad even from 458. As Leebokgu just very simply and easily flies into the base and starts killing shit. Now the Goliaths are returning back to base because 458 is realizing that maybe I should have kept those Goliaths in my base to defend because he's losing all of his command centers. But the tanks here though are arriving on the scene ready to push and kill the cannons. We've got the Dark Archon with the shuttle still here on the bottom side of the map, and the command centers are still, all the command centers are down. All the command centers are down. But the carriers are on low HP. So in theory, he can still survive this one. He can still survive this. Comes in with the last remaining Valkyries, and they are killing the carriers. Slowly, slowly, but they're all going to die at the same time. Well, a couple of them died, but the Valkyries aren't strong enough against the upgrades on the carriers. Dark Temple there in the front, no scan for 458, so we cannot save these tanks. They're just going to go down against one single Dark Templar. Now the carriers are going down though, because they're hanging above turrets and more Valkyries are arriving. Carriers are goodbye. The mind control hasn't happened yet, so I'm glad about that one. I'm happy that the mind control hasn't happened. Oh, it happened. Oh, it happened. He got the mind control there on the side. He had the Arbiter there with the recall. We recalled the SCV. Let's just rewind that. So it looks like, for some reason, they decided to end the series with, well, the TVP with 458 on the Terran. Which I'm glad that he at least got to play that once, or we at least got to see it once. But let's just focus on that mind control SCV. There is the shuttle. I just want to get the... Wait, let's just... Is this one, right? Which one is he going to go for? I think it's going to be this one. That one. So yeah, he comes in with the Dark Archon. I mean, the game was over anyway. There's no way 458 could still win this one. So he mind controls the SCV soon. Soon. Come on. Soon. Come on, do it. There it goes. And it's back in the base. Not that it mattered. It was just for style points at this point. But 458 is as good as done. Like, honestly, he cannot produce anything. All it takes is for Leebokgu to just send in these carriers, which is only 6 of them. But considering there's only 6 Valkyries to defend, and nothing else, no Goliaths, no Marines, there are some turrets, but he's got no money, he's waiting for command centers, he's only got 700 minerals. This game is over, regardless of the command, regardless of the mind control. So Leebokgu wins that one. He wins game number 5. Playing against a 458 that for some reason was playing the Terran. Well, at least now he gets like a piece of his own cake, because he always plays Protoss against Terran. Now he's like on the receiving end of Protoss abuse. Well, that was a fun series. A fun little long series. Not a little series, but a long series. Where Leebokgu got to show off at some points, and 458 got to show off at some points. But in the end, it was Leebokgu's series to call his own and take home. So thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this one, and see you around next time, very soon in the near future. I'm gonna hunt for a thumbnail.